Hello to all of you, my organic farming enthusiasts, and welcome back to yet another video here on our tiny garden where we are always dedicated to the science and the art of organic farming. In this video, we will be taking a deep dive into understanding the rest of the micronutrients, that is manganese, molybdenum, nickel, and zinc. So first up is manganese. Manganese is typically considered an immobile nutrient in plants. Once it is absorbed, it tends to remain in the tissues where it was initially taken up, and it's not easily translocated to other parts of the plant. Manganese is a crucial micronutrient for plants as it serves various essential roles in their growth and development. It is integral to photosynthesis where it participates in the water splitting complex of photosystem 2. Additionally, manganese acts as a cofactor for enzymes that are involved in carbohydrate breakdown, nitrogen metabolism, and redox reactions. These contribute to overall cellular health. Its involvement in key metabolic pathways supports plant growth, and maintaining appropriate manganese levels is very vital for plant resilience and development. So when we have manganese deficiency in our plants, the most common signs is leaf mottling, and this can be seen in figure A or the first picture. This simply means that it's the occurrence of irregular patterns of light and dark areas on a plant's leaves. It is often characterized by patches of discoloration, typically appearing as a mix of yellowing or chlorosis and normal green tissue. Severe manganese deficiency could easily be confused with late blight. The difference is that in manganese deficiency, we have no smell and we do not have necrosis of the stem base. You will also observe stunted growth, necrosis of leaf margins, distorted leaf shapes, poor fruit development, and delayed flowering. These symptoms vary among plant species, and confirming manganese deficiency may require soil or tissue testing. So some of the organic sources of manganese are obviously compost, well-decomposed animal manure. You can use seaweed and kelp. Fish hydrolysate fertilizer and bone meal also contribute or provide very small amounts of manganese. Now, it's very important for me to say this. It's paramount that you start including organic sources of these nutrients way early, even before you plant, because organic sources are never a quick fix. If you're looking for a quick fix, then sometimes you might be forced to use inorganic forms of fertilizers as you continue to incorporate organic sources into your soil. The next micronutrient is molybdenum. This is usually abbreviated as MO, and this is a moderately mobile nutrient. It can translocate to some extent from older to the younger tissues, and therefore deficiency symptoms always manifest in the leaves that are maturing or have recently matured. Molybdenum is very important in plant growth because one of its primary functions is nitrogen metabolism. Molybdenum is a cofactor for enzymes that are involved in nitrogen metabolism, particularly in the conversion of nitrate to ammonia. This process is crucial for the synthesis of amino acids, proteins, and other nitrogen-containing compounds in plants. Legumes such as peas and beans rely on molybdenum for the formation and the function of nitrogen-fixing nodules. Now, these nodules house symbiotic bacteria that converts atmospheric nitrogen into a form that is usable by plants. Molybdenum is also a cofactor for enzymes that participate in various redox reactions within the plant cells. This is very crucial for maintaining the balance of certain metabolic processes. Finally, molybdenum is involved in enhancing the plant's ability to take up and utilize iron. Iron is also another essential nutrient for plant growth. Molybdenum deficiency is relatively uncommon in most plants as they require very small amounts for optimal growth, and our soils usually have enough molybdenum. However, if you're dealing with factors like acidic soils, high iron or sulfur levels, if you have imbalanced fertilization, and if you are planting certain crops like legumes, then you can experience molybdenum deficiency. So this is how you spot molybdenum deficiency. You will have several leaves different in age. They will show a light green to yellow chlorosis spreading irregularly over the leaf blade. The bottom leaves additionally develop marginal necrosis. You will also observe small brown spots which will appear within the chlorotic zones, and some of them will enlarge and become whitish, scorched, and this will be seamed by a fine dark line. So some of the organic sources of molybdenum that you must incorporate into your soil regularly are compost, well decomposed animal manure, seaweed and kelp can also be incorporated into your soil, and it's also important to incorporate legume cover crops like clover and alfalfa. The next micronutrient is zinc. Now, zinc is considered to be an immobile nutrient. It remains in the specific tissues where it was initially deposited by the plants. Therefore, symptoms are likely to appear in the newer leaves because the nutrient cannot be easily translocated from older to the younger tissues. Zinc is a very important micronutrient when it comes to plant growth as it has so many functions. It functions as a vital cofactor for enzymes in metabolic pathways, including DNA and RNA synthesis. It is also very crucial for protein synthesis and cell division. Zinc also plays a central role in the formation of new tissues and therefore supports overall plant development. It is also present in enzymes that are essential for photosynthesis, and therefore it contributes to carbohydrate production while also influencing root development and lateral root formation. Beyond its role in basic physiological processes, zinc aids in the plant's response to stress, enhancing resilience against environmental challenges. Additionally, zinc regulates plant hormones and therefore impacts crucial aspects like stem elongation and flowering, making it indispensable for the comprehensive growth and well being of plants. One of the most common signs of zinc deficiency in plants is reduced internode length. And this causes what we call little leaf or rosetting, especially in apples. I'm going to use apples as an example. Little leaf or rosetting refers to a condition in plants that is characterized by the development of abnormally small leaves that are clustered so close together, as you can see in the first picture, which is a picture of an apple. So that is what we call little leaf or rosetting. In dicots, as seen in the second and in the third picture, you will observe pale yellow chlorotic zones that will run parallel to the midrib and usually starts at the base of the leaves. The leaf margin, the tip, and the midrib will remain green. The youngest developing leaves may be totally chlorotic yellow or white, or what we call as white bud. Then we can also have a reddish to necrotic brown discoloration at the leaf margins and at the stems, and this may develop on basal plant parts when deficiency is severe. For a continuous supply of zinc to your plants, it's important that you regularly incorporate fish hydrolysate fertilizer to your soil. You can also use seaweed and kelp. You can use compost, obvious, you can do that. And you can also use biofertilizers that are rich in zinc. Last but not least is nickel. Now, the discovery of nickel as an essential nutrient for plants is relatively recent compared to the other essential elements. Nickel can exhibit both immobile and mobile characteristics depending on the plant species and the specific conditions. Nickel has a very interesting role in plant growth. It serves as an essential cofactor for urease. Nickel facilitates the hydrolysis of urea, which is a critical step in nitrogen metabolism. This process ensures the efficient utilization of nitrogen by converting urea into ammonia and carbon dioxide, and this contributes to overall plant health. Nickel also promotes seed germination in certain plant species, and we have evidence that suggests its involvement in the uptake and transport of iron. Nickel may not be important or essential for all plants. However, it is very important for those species that rely on urease for nitrogen utilization and other specific metabolic processes. One common nickel deficiency symptoms across all plant species is actually the necrosis of leaf tips, and this is due to the accumulation of urea to toxic concentrations. For non-woody plants, deficiency symptoms can also include chlorosis of young leaves, reduced leaf size, and less upright leaf growth. Soil microbial activity is super important in providing nickel for your plants, and you can enhance this activity by incorporating fish hydrolysate fertilizer in your soil. You can use seaweed and kelp, and you can also use organic fertilizers, and this includes compost and well decomposed animal manure. And that is it. We are now done with the plant nutrients series. So please do join me in the next video as we take a look at key factors that influence nutrient availability in our garden soils. This is going to be a super important video because most of the time we already have these nutrients in our soil, or we have already fertilized our soils enough. But these nutrients are actually not available to our plants. So why is that? Please do not fail to join me in the next video so that we can expound more on these key factors. Thank you so much for staying with me up to the end of the video. If you found this video to be interesting, please do share it with someone who might be interested in this kind of content. If you found it to be informative, please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And until the next video, happy gardening.